Welcome to the podcast. This is the sixth episode of our DaPoD series, and today I think it's a special episode today. For the past 4 to 5 episodes, I've brought my friends over to the podcast. We just spoke random stuff, but for the first time, I think we have a celebrity amongst our.
Yeah, celebrity. Yeah, you can say that. I'm not a celebrity, by the way. Yeah.
Welcome, Bhargav.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I'm the sixth guest of your podcast. I'm so relieved. I'm so privileged to come here. All right.
How are you? How are you doing?
I'm doing great. How about you?
Yeah, I'm doing it. I'm living the best life. I've been
It's
wanting
Saturday night, weekend, and I'm like relaxed. Weather is nice.
The weather's too good.
Yeah.
I've been wanting to start a podcast for a long time, and finally it's in.
Oh, nice.
It's
Welcome
happening.
to the world.
So I'm living the best life of my life.
Best of luck. Hope you get many guests
Yes.
and rise to ranks.
Yeah. So let's start with it. A small word from our sponsors. Are you looking for an agency which can take care of all your digital marketing services while you focus on the business development? Then MNV Digital is the perfect solution for you. MNV Digital is a 360-degree digital marketing service based out of Hyderabad. Starting with lead generation, drone shoots, video marketing for your products, or social media branding, they've got it all. Check them out with the link in the bio. Just give me a bit intro, two short line intro about yourself.
Okay,
Just tell it to the world.
So my name is Bhargav. I am known as Akali Panda on Instagram and YouTube.
వర్షాకాలం అయితే వచ్చేసింది. మరి ఈ వీడియోలో ఇలాంటి చల్లటి వెదర్ కి పక్కాగా ట్రై చేసే వేడి ఫుడ్స్ ఒకప్పుడు 20 రూపాయలు పెట్టి దోశ కానీ ఇడ్లీ కానీ తింటే కడుపు అంతా నిండిపోతుండే. నీ అవ్వ ఇప్పుడు లాస్ట్ అండ్ ఫైనల్ ప్లేస్ కి వచ్చేసాం. అది
So journey goes like I did my engineering, went to US, did my masters. I was very into adventures. Like I was extreme adventures guy. Like I'm a skydiver, I'm a scuba diver, I'm a skier, snowboarder. Like you name it. Like I used to live my life on the edge. So and probably at that time I started photography as well, because when you do these kind of stuff, I wanted to capture those.
So this was in US.
I started in India as well. There used to be a club called GHAC. It was one of the first clubs in Hyderabad, which started, because I'm talking in terms of 2011-12.
Okay,
and that time the IT was booming, and people from all over the country.
I was in my 8th class.
I was 2011, my engineering first year. So yeah, people started coming from all over India. So they were alone. So there was this guy, and he thought like we'll start a adventure trekking kind of a club, and we'll start taking people around for weekends. And I started that in 2011, and from there I grew ranks. I became an organizer. Then I traveled around India. I started taking people around, and there I got into adventure sports. I was pretty fat, and like then I was super fit at that period of time. And then I went to US, and that adventure thing never left. Only thing was it was just going like bigger and bigger, like more risk, bigger risk. Mountain biking, skiing, snowboarding. You tell me. Every weekend I used to go out somewhere or other. And I had this.
The hiking culture, hiking is pretty popular back in the US.
Very popular. They have very structured treks, like the hiking structure. There are so many apps, website you can go. It's very safe as well there. Here you have to figure out where is the way is. There is no specific way. You have to talk to the locals. There is no government structure around it.
It's growing, I would say.
It is definitely growing. From the days I started in 2011. Now it's
there are many trekking clubs. I see Instagram ads like every time I search about Goa or something like that, then some random stuff about trekking in Manali pops up to me. And
true.
I don't even want to go to Manali, man. I want to go to Goa and just have a beer on the beach.
On the beach.
Yeah.
Probably people from back in Hyderabad knows there was nothing here. Near now opposite to Inorbit, there's all greenery and the rocks there, right?
Yeah.
it was one of the most popular spot go for hiking because there are so many rocks there. People used to go hike and climb the rocks. It was the place where people started hiking and trekking.
Hiking was in hiding in orbit.
Yes, and I remember I used to come here I used to live in Dilshnagar.
Okay.
Hyderabad Its Association. I used to come here early in the mornings, 5 a.m. We used to do so many things right here. There was nothing here at that period of time. There was so many rocks, small lakes, trees. We did so many crazy things.
Yeah. Man, Hyderabad, I've never seen that side of
That's
Hyderabad.
like it was back in. I'm telling you, right? 2012. I'm going back in memories.
Oh my god. Yeah. I mean, maybe I would say the same thing 10 years down the line about Kokapet or outside of ORR. I would say the same to the people back in the day. But yeah, I can never imagine this area to have rocks.
Yeah, it was full of rocks. Now they are constructing roads and everything, but before it was like that. And then coming back, I was in US. Every week I used to go out one city or other city, travel a lot. I used to have a very huge, very diverse friends. That will help me in figuring out a lot of other hobbies or different interests that I had. And I think at that period of time, I was like, okay, I need to capture these moments. So I stumbled into photography. I dabbled there, videography. Then
and the digital media was not even popular back then. It was very small.
YouTube.
It was just YouTube back then.
Yeah, I think at that period of time, I'm talking about 2016, 17. There was a boom of this travel influencers. That was a boom. 2016 was a boom. I remember there was Peter McKinnon. There's so many YouTubers who used to do YouTube videos on travel. Then I was like, fuck it, I also need to do these things. Then I started like, okay, how to hold the camera. I started with what is an aperture, what is a shutter speed, how to record, how to edit, Premiere Pro, and all these things. I started it, and from there I started taking videos. And I think in 2020, yes, I thought like, you know what, I need to travel the world. 2020. So I started traveling the world Jan first week 2020, and I was just going around. I started with Mexico, Canada, UK, Turkey, all these things, Southeast Asia. And now 2020. What happened?
Where were you when you heard that the world is going to stand still tomorrow?
So there was a moment. So I had like 6 months planned. Whole thing was planned for 6 months. I had all the visas. Indian passport is the shittiest passport.
It is.
You cannot get visas. There is no visa around. Very few countries that does that. But our ranking is very bad in that way. But it was like, okay, now which country I can go to, and which country stopped our tourists. It was in mid-March. I was like, okay, this country is not allowing tourists. So Thailand was the last country which was allowing tourists. So there are a lot of people are going to Thailand. So I went to Thailand, and I was supposed to go to Cambodia, but Modi came onto the TV and said, like, from tomorrow, no more flights inside India, like coming outside from. I was like, this is the last time. Let's go back to India.
Okay, so you took a flight back from Thailand to India.
So that's how I came back to India. Then after that, lockdown, boring. As soon as I come, 14 days of that happened. Then I got Corona. Then again 14 days. Again 14 days. Then I'm a kind of a guy who cannot sit at home. I have to keep doing something. Chilling and reading a book is not my cup of tea. I have to keep doing something other, keep learning something other. I was like, what do I like? Other than traveling, what do I like? Then I go back to my childhood days. So me and my friend, there was Rajesh and there was Sharon. I'm talking back we were friends from 6th class. At that time itself, we were so crazy about food. And I cook, he cooks. When I'm saying I like food, it's not like, okay, I eat biryani or I try to explore things. Okay. I love trying out multiple things. Good, bad, at least I need to give it a try. And not only giving it a try, I understand why it is good, why is it famous, what is the history behind it, what is the story behind it, what makes the food better. Now everything, so I go very deep into all these things. So back in when Zomato first, Zomato came in.
Was it during 2020?
No.
It was a little bit before that.
No. I'm going back to 2011. That time. I'm going back to 2011. I think that was a period when Zomato came in. It wanted to pull in a lot of audience. So what it used to do with this?
I think Zomato started as a food directory company.
Yes.
It was not delivery business yet. They just showed what restaurants serve.
Yeah. At that period, there was no delivery, nothing.
Yeah, exactly.
It was only showing, it was a directory, like in Yellow Pages.
Exactly.
It was in Yellow Pages for food. I don't know, people know Yellow Pages, but yeah.
I know, I'm 23, but I know I've seen them.
Yeah.
It's like just ancient relics sometimes I find in my attics in my house. But yeah, I've seen those Yellow Pages.
Yes. It was a directory of a lot of food, and they used to, and there was something called a blogs or reviews section. And that was a craze at that time. Now, how Instagram is, I think that was a stage where people wanted to be popular, and the way to be popular in the food sector was writing reviews.
Okay.
And Zomato used to give on coupons to try this out, 20% off, 30% off. And we used to go travel here and there.
So this was in Hyderabad?
This was in Hyderabad.
Okay.
So this was me and mostly Sharan. Me and Sharan used to go travel a lot, like around city. Like we used to go to Bhargav. Like now you see Mandi everywhere. You see Shawarma everywhere. You see Biriyani everywhere. And you see beer and all these things.
Yeah.
At that period of time, there was nothing. The first time we had Mandi was in Bhargav.
Okay.
So Bhargav is this area which is behind airport, that side. Little bit scary area, sketchy area. But if you want very authentic food, you have to go there. But be careful because most of the time, 80% of the time, it's beef, not mutton. So we went there first time and we were like odd people out, like two people, like totally weird. We went to the room, everyone's sitting there, like, why the fuck is everyone sitting down? We thought it was a restaurant. At that period of time, we saw some post on Facebook. And at that time, Facebook was very big and there was Facebook groups.
It was,
So we saw a review and it was like, fuck it, this is something Arabic style food. We have to try it. And we went there and we were like, what? Everyone is sitting down. And there was no space.
And they're eating in one plate.
It was so different because you have never seen it. Now everyone knows this is how you got to eat it. And that period of time, that was the only place.
Exactly.
And no one knows because we have to eat like that. Then we went there and it was like, Bhaiya, mandi de do. Then we were figuring out how to eat this. There was this red chutney. There was no mayonnaise back then. I don't know when mayonnaise got introduced. But there was the red tomato, the tomato, it's just a puree to give that tangy taste. Because that was the only thing that... and you are used to eating biryani, which comes with a salad in Hyderabad, but we didn't get that even.
Same thing, even when I first had the Mandi as well. It was not back in the day, but it was when it was popular. But it was my first time having something on with everybody.
Yeah.
I'm a big OCD guy when it comes to food. I need to wash my hands. I need to eat before. I need to wash my hands. So when I saw people eating from one plate and he's removing it from his plate and all, it was so weird for me. But then I was hungry, so that triumphs over everything, and I just had it. And then I slowly molded my OCDs a little bit, and
now everyone is used to it. At that period of time, that was Bhargav's place where they used to give mandi, and there was one other place in Mazatlan called Dine Hill. I think it is still there. It is still there. But that was the first restaurant which introduced this big plate, and you have to eat it like with friends. This is a custom that happens in the Middle East, and they were one of the first people who introduced these things, and it was very unique. And I think my Zomato's picture is still that picture which I took in 2012 with Dine Hill. I still have that picture. I think my Zomato DP is that. So we used to go to a lot of places. Shawarma. I think I had the first. Look, I'm talking about these things. Shawarma was. I ate the first shawarma. There was a guy under the Panjagutta bridge. Mm-hmm.
I
think he was the first person. I don't know. Yeah, shawarma, and he introduced the shawarma here. And if you wanted to eat momos, Somajiguda was the only place you could get momos. He was the one who bought momos to Hyderabad. There was no other place.
A little trivia. I'm 23 years old, 24 years old. I've never eaten momos in my life.
Shit, you gotta try it.
And I want to keep it that way, so that I'm 30, 35 and I'm like, okay, I've never eaten momos, I'm not gonna eat it. Just so I can...
just say that. Just say conversation started, you wanna say, I never eat momos. I've never eaten momos.
I'm never eating it.
Okay.
I never had the opportunity as well. I mean, there were friends eating, but I was full, so I was like, I just want to keep that record,
Okay.
I've never touched this part of the food. And I'm never going to just, maybe on my deathbed, the last thing I eat could be a momos, I guess.
Okay. What's your last wish? I need to eat momos.
Maybe that way, yeah. So you were saying?
Yes, momos was there so much good. So I already ate momos before eating in Somajiguda. There is I went.
It's mostly Eastern, right?
Northeastern food. Northeastern food.
Does it touch the? I think it comes from more Eastern country, like China, maybe. Dumplings.
Yes, so there are multiple versions. We say momos. But there are like dumplings. There's wontons which are fried. There are multiple variations of it. The story goes like when the traders were moving from Silk Road to integral part of India. That's how it came in.
You can preserve that for a long time. Is that the reason? Or
I don't know.
Probably
how it came. There is a very interesting story as well. This is where the
origins of momos.
Origins of momos. It goes like there is a Nepal prince who married a Chinese princess. And that's how it came to them, and the Indian traders went and they bought it back from the Silk Road to India. I don't know how because I just like to read like what are the origin stories of all this.
True.
So I think that's how it came.
Yeah.
But that was not the first time I ate momos. I did Ladakh trip once. So back in 2013. So I went from Delhi around.
Yeah.
So from there I started, I saw this momos, and then I came back and where can I get momos in Hyderabad? And so Somajiguda, Kathmandu momos.
Okay.
Kathmandu momos was the only place. He still sells it, same place.
Oh, it's still there.
Yeah, it's still
I
there.
live close by.
He sells the same momos, and momos. I think in that way, Hyderabadis were they welcome food a lot.
Exactly. Yeah.
See, we accept food from all over the places. Mandi is not ours. Shawarma is not ours. Momos are not ours. Biryani is also something that Mughals
we formulated.
We
changed the recipe. We made it Hyderabadi.
Yes, we made it Hyderabadi.
Yeah.
And what are the other things? Yeah, we accept.
Yeah.
We have big heart and we accept things.
I definitely agree. I mean, the food culture really is popping up right now. You see even a street corner food is selling you some exotic stuff like waffles, which was very unheard of back 2-3 years ago.
No one knew what waffles are, what pancakes are. It was so Western. Now everyone wants to have it. The Westernization is happening. Everyone wants to open a restaurant or a new joint or franchise something and just have it. More shops, more the number of people Hyderabad is getting, more influx of people, and the more food culture is also growing. It is growing more diverse as well.
Yeah.
So in that way, I would say we accept a lot.
Definitely. So where did this Akali Panda? What is it? Just give me five. Why Akali Panda? What's the name?
This is how it started. Lockdown, going back to lockdown, and it was 1 month into lockdown. Then they started like you can go out, you can buy vegetables are going on
until 10 o'clock, until 11 o'clock.
That's what happening. I mean, I had all the gear with me. I had the camera, I had the skill to take, and I feel that me and Sharon, we were like sitting like we need to do something. I mean, we have nothing else to do.
Yeah.
We have to do something because I was going mad. Then we started just posting stories of in our personal accounts, stories of what we are cooking. And so then one day Sharon comes to me and like, let's make videos. Let's make full-length videos, YouTube videos. We'll order food. We'll not make food, we'll order food. Because at that time period, the ordering culture was booming.
Yeah.
but you don't know how the food was coming, how it was packaging, and all these things. There is a space there. Let's tap into that space. Let's create that. Then we did our first pilot, and we sat down, we bought the food, we edited it. It didn't took much time because I was already into. I was making adventure videos, travel videos. So I was I know how to do it. So we posted it, and we made couple of videos like that with all our friends. We started making some videos. Then we realized that YouTube was taking too much time, and a lot of people were shifting to
short form content.
Instagram content. So we're like,
that's when TikTok blew up as well.
Yes.
Before it was banned, it blew up in India, and that's when the entire focus from a long 10-minute, 20-minute video to a 15 seconds attention span of people has reduced. And and that brought up a lot of creators, definitely, I would say.
Yeah, it opened up. It made creating content very easy. It opened up, like anyone can create holding a phone. Yeah. You don't need a DSLR. You don't need expensive editing software. Exactly. All you need is a phone, and you can make it. Unless you are creative enough to make something, you can make it.
So was YouTube your main thing, or was Instagram?
YouTube, in the starting, YouTube was the main thing, but we saw the boom of Instagram rising. Then we shifted making content more on Instagram. So then there was another thing shifting in Hyderabad, where a lot of other creators were also making a lot of food content, mainly on Instagram. So when this happened, what restaurants were doing is there are people calling, come try our food. And this promotions kind of a thing started. So what happened? All the food bloggers, all the people who were making food content around food, every other content creator is dead. There was no traveling content, lifestyle. Everyone using shorts and sitting in their pajamas at home. Yeah. No one was doing fashion content at that time. Food was very booming at that time. So everyone started doing it. So every day, what we used to do is we used to go to some restaurant, other restaurant, bunch of people, try to shoot some content, and so that's how the journey of Instagram started. We made friends, a lot of groups, a lot of foodies groups. We started making content, going to different restaurants. Most of the time, restaurant calls us now, and that's where it came from. Slowly, a lot of people don't show their faces. I am like, if I'm making something, I need to be recognized for it.
You want it to be branding.
I need to be recognized for the worth I'm keeping in. So I was one of the very few people who used to show their faces, what they are doing about. And then virally people, Tamada Media contacted and were like, we want to. At that time, virally food was like they were not making any content. Like, we want to renew this content. Let's make something.
So they made you the face of is that what?
So they were like, we need a face for the channel, and second thing is we need to bring out new ideas and someone who can talk about food. Talking about food is not only about this is good or this is bad. No, if it is good, why it is good. You need to explain about it. If it's bad, why it is bad. You can only say why it is bad when you know how to make it. Once you know what is the best taste, then you know this is not good or bad. So that's and they saw that in our videos as well. How we take our videos, we were very showing what is needed, and as well as talking about the food in terms of like someone who has knowledge about food. And they wanted to take us, and me and Sharon, we started working for Tamada Media. Then we started making food content for them, and for me, like I said, I don't like doing the same thing again and again. I am the kind of guy who likes to explore. Yeah. So there is always this tug of war. Let's go to the restaurant, eat biryani. I'm like, fuck it, let's try different cuisine. Let's explore different things. Let's bring in big ideas. Let's bring in big ideas of making videos. And it's always a debate, like what content do we make? And the journey is going on now. We're making content, a lot of content, bringing on new ideas. It's getting harder and harder on YouTube. You can see grabbing the attention of the audience for 10 minutes. It's like very hard. True.
I mean, with all the short form content,
you will be better making a short form content. Yeah. But the thing is, I feel it's a wave. Ultimately, you need to go back if you want to understand a concept or actually relax something, you cannot just rely on 30 seconds content. Let's say we want to make a video on how to make a beer. I can't make it in 30 seconds. I need a full length video. I want to make a how to chocolate is made. I want to explore around different cuisine. I can't do it in 30 seconds.
Definitely.
I'm not able to justify it.
I mean, not just food. I mean,
any content.
Just today in the morning when I was setting up the mic and all, although I've seen some content on some Instagram page where they just explain it in bits and pieces, but ultimately I go back to YouTube, sit down, I relax, and I do it step by step. So it is an evergreen thing that's still happening.
It will be there. It will be there. In the moment, there will be no craze. You will not get. You will not see that much craze. But ultimately, once you want to go in depth about anything, the full length content is something that you have to reserve for it. So that's what right now our strategy as well. That's what I sat with all the team, with my team.
How big is your food team?
So for Instagram, it's just me as of now. But for I work for Tamada, so there is this manager, there is the editor, there's a DOP, there are a couple of other anchors. So we all brainstorm the ideas. We brainstorm, but most of the time I'm very stubborn about I want this. I want to do this. So they have to listen.
I mean, they're definitely the people behind the camera. So you're the one who the face of it. So you definitely.
So in that way, I'm a little strong-headed. Like, I think we need to make this content. I mean, I'm okay making this as well, but this is where my talent, I'll keep more extra effort in this.
Yeah. So when we're talking about food, I think we need to really address the first question when it comes to it.
Yes.
What is the best biryani in Hyderabad? Don't give me 1, 2, 3 or 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Don't give me options. Just give me the best.
My go-to biryani is Pista House. Any I go to Pista House. I eat a good biryani. I am satisfied with chicken 65. I go for it.
I mean, I was not expecting Pista House or some bigger brand.
That's my go-to place. Like, if I want to order a biryani on a weekday or a weekend, I'll just go for Pista House and just order with chicken 65. That's my. And I specifically mentioned, give me a leg piece or a duck. So people don't know this chicken. There are two types. No, leg.
Okay.
Dark meat.
Okay, so I thought you said duck.
No, dark meat. So people don't know there is two variations of meat in chicken. There is white meat and there is dark meat.
Okay.
So white meat is basically the breast part, and the dark meat is basically the leg, thighs, and all these things.
The one that's juicy.
The one that is juicy, more tender and more tasty as well. You can't cook them together because it cooks at a different temperature. It cooks at a different temperature. But when you try to cook this breast parts become very, that rubbery. Yeah. No one. I don't know who likes those pieces in biryani, but everyone hates those big breast pieces. Yeah. I hate them. That's why I always mention I need leg pieces or thigh pieces. That's my go. And chicken 65 always goes well. It's a good salad. I like the salad. I always eat with salad, nice onions on the side, and I'm good to go.
I was really expecting something very niche, very underrated restaurant. But
Underrated. The biggest part about I like consistency. So doesn't matter Monday or Friday or any given day in the morning or evening. I want that consistent taste.
Same food, same taste.
Yes, and very few restaurants can provide that consistent taste. So that's why one of the reasons I go for it, they provide consistency. They have a standard SOP. This is how it is made, and this is how they sell. That is the only reason I go for it.
My go-to place for a biryani would be the Meridian restaurant at Panda.
Good.
I think I've been eating it since my father used to bring it while I was studying, while I was in school, I guess. His office was nearby.
Okay.
So he used to bring it towards the evening, towards lunch. That's when I started actually eating chicken for the first time. I was a vegetarian for a long time.
Oh, nice.
Then I just tried it to just give it a try, and I liked it. So Meridian was my first beginning, and I've also tried many other biryanis, but I don't know. The rice. I really like the masala, is that masala? Yeah, the masala and the combination with the chicken really good with that.
For a long time, Meridian had the best mutton biryani.
I think it became a little bit commercialized.
Very commercialized, very couple of very less pieces. Even the pieces I have, like there is
the quantity has reduced.
Like, fuck, what happened, Meridian? Please, if you're looking at this, just set your biryani right.
Yeah. And even there were some people coming in from Mumbai, a few of my friends, Mumbai and Delhi. I used to suggest them to go to Meridian back in the day, but I don't know what to suggest right now. Maybe nothing. There's no pizza place. Sorry, there's no biryani place right now for me where okay, let's go there today. It's just like okay, Akali is today, so let's just come to money. I used to Shagos pakkane untadi. I just eat that.
It's a decent one. You know, let's go.
It's decent. Like there's no extraordinary. Like I want to have an extraordinary biryani today. I mean, like winter game but I'm really not that of a food guy. I like my home food. I'm comfortable with that.
All right.
So yeah.
Biryani has become an emotion, and now everyone is selling biryani. You can get a biryani for 100 rupees. Now that is very interesting point. Like,
have you seen the recent news? I think not in Hyderabad, but 1 rupee ki they are giving biryani in Karimnagar, I guess. They put out an advertisement outside the restaurant, and there was a huge crowd over there. The police could not control.
Yeah.
It was very bad. I was very. 1 rupee biryani ki inta illa unnare.
It's 1 rupee biryani. It just sells.
Yeah.
It is a marketing technique that sells.
Oh, they 1 rupee ayyamundi.
No, see, now let's shift the topic a little bit. That guy did an amazing job in selling that 1 rupee biryani. So we are on that side. We do work with a lot of restaurateurs as well as marketing companies, and it's a whole ecosystem. And marketing a product, marketing a place. If you put up a new restaurant, how do you make people to come into your restaurant? Now that is the biggest hurdle. Now the competition is so big, like it's so high. Like every other day there are 10 other restaurants. How do you make other people believe that you have one of the best stuff you have? And
what's your USP?
Well, yeah. What is your USP? What is your USP? USP will only give you what's best, what to order at your place. But how do you make the customer come into your restaurant? Now, every marketer has to sit on that topic. Like, how do you make people to come into your restaurant? And once they come into the restaurant, what are you going to serve them? And how do you make them come again?
Yeah.
So it's a whole cycle. Now you have to think in terms of like whole cycle. How do you make him? How do you recognize?
It's a startup of its own. It's a startup of its own.
Running a restaurant is no less than running a company. In fact, it is more hard because the working hours are more higher in restaurant. You have to come up early in the morning, get raw materials,
set it for the next day again.
Yeah, and prepare it, then maintain it, service, after service. If you actually think about it, it's a company in itself.
It is.
I mean, So professional, I do this on the side, but professionally, I run a company as well.
Yeah.
Now I can relate how it is easy to run a company rather than running a restaurant. Everyone keep asking me like, "Anna, meer kuda restaurant open cheyachu." I have seen how hard it is. I run a company, and that is more harder. I don't want to get into it. I am good in terms of marketing. I'll do that. Yeah, it's very hard. First of all, customer kanibiyala product.
And they're doing some crazy things, all the restaurants in Hyderabad. One particular thing that I observed very recently was right near Raidar metro station. If you look at it, there's a Karachi bakery. Right beside that, there's a 1950s military hotel.
Yeah.
It's a military hotel. Okay, you would think, okay, you'll get normal food over there. But they did it a branding with Balakrishna. So they're all, I've been there. It's close, but I've been there and I've asked why Balaya for. So we're like, Memandaram Balaya fans. And they put every Balaya movies on top of the ceiling. They have cutouts, you can take pictures where they have Balaya's trailers playing in the TV over there. It's too good of fun. If you're a fan, if you're a Tollywood fan, you don't have to be a Balaya fan.
Okay.
If you're a Tollywood fan,
just
like the movies, just go there. Okay, fuck the food. Just enjoy the vibe
and just go
take good photos. Yeah, it's amazing.
So you get pretty much same quality taste of the food everywhere.
Yeah.
ఈవెన్ ఎవ్రీవన్ నోస్, నీకు రెసిపీ ప్రతి ఒక్కరి దగ్గర ఉంది, జస్ట్ యూ నీడ్ టు ఫాలో ద రెసిపీ. ప్రతి ఒక్కరు సిమిలర్ టేస్ట్, అంటే ఒక రెస్టారెంట్ హీ వాంట్స్ టు గివ్ గుడ్ ఫుడ్, హీ విల్ మోస్ట్ ఆఫ్ ద పీపుల్ గివ్ ఇన్ వెరీ సిమిలర్ వే. ప్రోడక్ట్లో పెద్ద తేడా ఏం లేదు, అదే బిర్యానీ, అదే రోటీ, అదే కర్రీ, అదే స్టార్టర్, పెద్ద దాంట్లో నువ్వు పెద్ద పీక్ పొడిచింది ఏం లేదు అక్కడ. కానీ
why this is so true, because when we go to a restaurant, we see the menu, the menu చూస్తాం, లాస్ట్ కి పన్నీర్ బటర్ మసాలా అండ్ బటర్ నాన్ చాలు భయ వచ్చేసి.
Interestingly, we did this small analytics. You know what people Google Trends like వెళ్ళేసి, we did bunch of sources and scrape data and try to do what people order. నువ్వు మెనీలో 200 ఐటమ్లు పెట్టినా వాడు ఆర్డర్ చేసేది ఆ చికెన్ 65, ఆ బిర్యానీ, ఆ రోటీ, ఆ పన్నీర్ బటర్ మసాలా, చికెన్ టిక్కా కర్రీ, అంతే. అవే ఆ టాప్ 10 ఐటమ్స్ ఉంటే అవే అమ్ముతారు. మిగతా ఏంటంటే యాడ్ ఆన్స్ అంతే పక్కన. అందరూ నేను ఫుడ్ నేను తింటా, నేను పొడి చేస్తా అంటే మళ్ళాడు పోయి వాడు తినేది అదే. కొత్త ట్రై చేయాలంటే వాడు సస్తాడు, కొత్త ట్రై. ఎందుకంటే దెర్ ఇస్ ఎ ఫియర్. తెలిసింది నాకు తెలిసి అది నచ్చుతుంది, నాకు తినేస్తాను. లేదు కొత్త ట్రై చేయాలా అంటే కొత్త ట్రై చేయాలి, బాగాలేకపోతే పైసలు వేస్ట్ అవుతుంది. మన మైండ్లో ఒక ఇది ఉంటుంది, అరే పైసలు వేస్ట్ అయిపోయినాయి, అది బాగాలేదు, అది పైసలు వేస్ట్ అయిపోయింది.
పర్సనల్లీ నాకు చాలా ఉంది, అందుకే నేను ఒక రెస్టారెంట్ చూస్ చేస్తే అవి కూడా ఇప్పుడు పరంపర అని ఒకటి ఎంతైనా సరే ఇక్కడ తినాలనుకుంటే అక్కడి నుంచి ఆర్డర్ చేసుకోవడం, కానీ అక్కడికి వెళ్ళి తిన్నామని చేస్తా కానీ అమ్మ అసలు నాకు ఏదో టచ్ కూడా చేయబోద్ది కదా.
That is the very biggest issue with lot of new restaurants also. ఎందుకంటే everyone has a go to restaurant now. నువ్వు కొత్తగా వచ్చినప్పుడు నేను ఎందుకు ట్రై చేయాలి, అండ్ ఆ వాడి నెత్తి మీద ఉండేది అదే, నువ్వు కొత్తవాడిని ఎట్లా తీసుకురావాలి అనే ఉంటుంది. రెస్టారెంట్స్ హ్యావ్ దిస్ ఇష్యూ, బట్ మన హ్యూమన్ నేచర్ అది. మనం తెలిసింది మనకు చెప్పింది తింటా ఉంటాం. అండ్ దట్ ఈస్ అనదర్ రీజన్ ఇన్ఫ్లుయెన్సర్ మార్కెట్ ఈస్ ఆల్సో గ్రోయింగ్. ఎందుకంటే ఇప్పుడు నీకు తెలిసిన వాడు అరే నాకు ఇది నచ్చింది అంటే సరే పోయి వాడికి నచ్చింది అంటే నాకు నచ్చుతుంది అని ఒక నమ్మకంతో నువ్వు ట్రై చేస్తావు. ఇఫ్ దేర్ వాజ్ నో ఇన్ఫ్లుయెన్సర్ మార్కెటింగ్, దేర్ వాజ్ నో ఇన్ఫ్లుయెన్సర్స్ హూ వర్ సేయింగ్ దిస్ ఇస్ ద ఫుడ్, you would always go to the same restaurant, you would always eat the same thing.
But how ఎంత నమ్మకం అది, లైక్ యూనో ఇన్ఫ్లుయెన్సర్ సేయింగ్ అది ఇది చాలా బాగుంది, ఇక్కడ కొత్త ఆనియన్ రింగ్స్ వచ్చాయి, దిస్ లుక్ దిస్ టేస్ట్ బెటర్ దాన్ దాట్ అని అంటారు. లైక్ హౌ డు యూ సీ అన్న, నేను నమ్మను, నేను నా నోట్లో పడితేనే నా టేస్ట్ చేస్తేనే నాకు నమ్ముతా. హౌ డు ఐ ట్రస్ట్ అ ఫుడ్ బ్లాగర్, అ ఫుడ్ ఇన్ఫ్లుయెన్సర్? లైక్ వాట్ మేక్స్ అ పర్సన్ డిఫరెంట్?
See, everyone has taste, everyone taste buds are different. నీకు నచ్చింది నాకు నచ్చకపోతే, నాకు నచ్చింది నీకు నచ్చకపోవచ్చు. నా ఓన్లీ వన్స్ యూ ట్రై ఇట్ యూ నో దట్ అరే వాడి టేస్ట్ నా టేస్ట్ ఒకటేలాగా ఉంది, వాడికి నచ్చితే నాకు నచ్చుతుంది. See, I don't like eating the same biryani. I don't like eating the same thing every day. So నాలో చాలా వెరైటీస్ ఉంటాయి because I like to explore. Now someone who is like me will love to do, అరే ఇది బాగుంది ట్రై చేద్దాం, వీడు ఏదో కొత్త ట్రై చేశాడు, ఈరోజు ఏదో జాపనీస్ ట్రై చేశాడు, ఈరోజు కొరియన్ ట్రై చేశాడు, లేదా ఏదో కొత్త డిష్ వచ్చింది, ఒక మిడిల్ ఈస్టర్న్ డిష్ వచ్చింది. Now someone who likes to explore,
I think this comes from your previous experiences with the adventure.
Yes, I am very open to try very new things. Not like, but I also need to understand that there are very less people in the world who are open to the new ideas. Endukante any new thing you have to push.
But completely opposite, you know that. I just realized
you have
that.
To push. There is in marketing there is something called push marketing and pull marketing, right? You are into marketing, you understand. Any new thing you have to push. ఇప్పుడు కొత్త పిజ్జాస్ ప్లేసెస్ వచ్చాయి, కాఫీ ప్లేసెస్ వచ్చాయి, లైక్ నెపోలిటానా పిజ్జా అంటాడు, లేకపోతే దిస్ రామెన్ అంటాడు. ఐ నో రెస్టారెంట్ ఓనర్తో మాట్లాడితే నేను అక్కడికి వెళ్ళాను, నాకు చాలా నచ్చింది, ఐ వాంట్ బ్రింగ్ దట్ టు హైదరాబాద్, ఐ వాంట్ డూ దిస్, ఐ వాంట్ బి వెరీ అథెంటిక్
స్టోరీ క్రియేట్ చేస్తారు.
లైక్ ఐ వాంట్ బి వెరీ అథెంటిక్, నేను అలా తీసుకొద్దాం అనుకుంటున్నా. వెరీ గుడ్, నీకు నచ్చారు, బట్ యూ నీడ్ టు ఆల్సో అండర్స్టాండ్ దట్ యువర్ సర్కిల్ ఈస్ వెరీ స్మాల్. ప్రతి ఒక్కడికి వాడు ఏది తింటాడు అదే కావాలి. నౌ యూ హ్యావ్ టు పుష్ దట్ ప్రోడక్ట్ ఇన్ టు ద కస్టమర్స్. అదే నువ్వు ఏదో మళ్ళీ బిర్యానీ 100 రూపాయలు బిర్యానీ పెట్టుకుంటే యూ డోంట్ హ్యావ్ టు పుష్. ఇది పుల్ మార్కెట్, మళ్ళీ అది వాడు చూపిస్తే వాడే వచ్చేస్తాడు. సో లాట్ ఆఫ్ పీపుల్ కీప్ ఆస్కింగ్ మీ, అన్న నేను కొత్త రెస్టారెంట్ బండి పెడదాం అనుకుంటున్నాను, ఏం పెట్టాలి, ఎలా పెట్టాలి అని అంటూ ఉంటాను. సో మార్కెట్లో నడిచేది ట్రెండింగ్ది పెట్టేస్తే నువ్వు ఎక్కువ మార్కెటింగ్కి పుష్ చేయడానికి అవసరం పడదు. ఏదన్నా నచ్చింది చేసేస్తే ఈజీ. కొత్త తీసేస్తాను పొడి చేస్తా అంటే సరే పొడువు, కానీ దానికి అంత కష్టం కూడా పడాలి, వెయిట్ చేయాలి. ఇట్ టేక్స్ లాంగ్ టైం. ఇప్పుడు మనకు మండి ఇప్పుడు ఎక్కడ పడితే అక్కడ దొరుకుతుంది. 2013 మా అంటే 2-3 ఉండే ప్లేయర్స్, వాళ్ళకి ఎంత కష్టపడి టుక్ దెమ్. ఇప్పుడు అజీబా ఉంది, 36 జుబ్లీ 36 ఉంది. టుక్ దెమ్ అ లాంగ్ టైమ్ టు పుల్ ద పీపుల్ టువర్డ్స్ ద రెస్టారెంట్. లేకపోతే ఎందుకు ఎవరా ఒకటే ప్లేట్ 10 మంది తింటాడు అంటారు. ఇప్పుడు ఇట్స్ బికమ్ ఎ నార్మ్.
విచిత్రమైన పేర్లు పెట్టి మంది పెట్టేస్తున్నాడు. మాదాపూర్కి వెళ్తే గర్ల్ ఫ్రెండ్ మంది అంటాడు,
గర్ల్ ఫ్రెండ్ మండి.
టూ బ్యాడ్ ఏంటిపోయి నాకు అర్థం కాదు అట్లా. తినబుద్ధి కూడా కాదు ఆ పేరు చూస్తాను. చాలా ఉన్నాయి చెప్పుకుంటే.
గర్ల్ ఫ్రెండ్ మండి అంటాడు, లేకపోతే నాటుకోడి మండి అంటాడు, లేకపోతే గ్రేవీ మండి అంటాడు.
నాటుకోడిని మందిని కలిపేశాను. నువ్వు ఫ్యూజన్ చేయి ఒప్పుకుంటా నేను, ఫ్యూజన్ ఇస్ మంచిది, కానీ నువ్వు అక్కడ సౌత్ లో నాటుకోడిని తీసుకొని అరేబియాలో ఉన్న బిర్యానీలో కలిపేస్తున్నావు.
There's an interesting story. One of my friend, he came. He is from Dubai, so he came in. I was like, I want to eat mandi. Then we went out
from Dubai.
No, he's based in the US, but he's from Dubai, and he was like, mandi. Then like mandi, let's have mandi. So then let's have mandi. Then we went to a place and he tried a spoon. I was like, let's eat biryani. That is good enough for me. Because you need to understand, it's not original. And from restaurant point of view, if you actually keep the original or authentic taste, no fucker will like it.
Yeah. Have you eaten the original mandi from?
I have tried in US.
Okay.
Now people from there come and they cook it. So I think it's an authentic one. People my friends who used to eat, I think they keep saying that no, this is pretty apt taste. But manaku nachadu endukante it's very dry. మనకి ఏంటి కొంచెం మనకు అన్నం పప్పు కొంచెం మనకు లిక్విడ్ ఇష్టం మనకు కొంచెం, అండ్ మసాలాలు ఇష్టం. దానికి అసలు మండిలో మసాలానే ఉండదు, ఇట్స్ వెరీ బ్లాండ్. బట్
కిస్మిస్ కూడా చేస్తారు. ఇస్ ఇట్
కిస్మిస్
ఇస్ ఇట్ ట్రూ అథెంటిక్ నుంచి వచ్చింది?
యాక్చువల్గా నిజం చెప్పాలంటే పోమగ్రానైట్, కిస్మిస్ ఇలాంటి ఇరానియన్ ఫుడ్, పర్షియన్ ఫుడ్, దే హ్యావ్ దిస్ ఫ్రూట్స్ వేస్తారు దాంట్లో
టు యాడ్ ది స్వీట్నెస్.
Sweetness, I think maybe one reason is it is available there. While like spice available, they have that.
Makes sense.
It started that way. Yeah, but now the exact point you're talking about is, where do you draw the line? Now, yes, even McDonald's coming to India, what is the first thing it introduced? Mekalo tikki. ఎందుకంటే మన వడా పావ్ ఇవన్నీ ఇష్టం కాబట్టి వాడు మెకాలో టిక్కీ తీసుకొచ్చాడు. Now, customizing a taste to Indian audience is right. According to your local audience, you have to customize it. But where you will draw the line, where it becomes from customizing to local taste to the obscene stupidity.
True.
Where do you draw the line? But dosa antadu. Dosa became from I don't know what the fuck it became.
అసలు ఆ పన్నీర్ చీజ్ అంటాడు, బటర్ వేస్తాడు, ఏది పడుతుంది వేసేసి
ప్రోడక్ట్
మొత్తం ఉంటుంది దానిలో.
I hate the taste. To be honest, I hate the taste. The only reason it became famous because it is good to watch. No, this was I was in this is new. This is what I think for dosas. It's how watching what all he's keeping. Now that is very interesting than tasting it. దాంట్లో ఉప్మా వేస్తాడు, దాంట్లో పన్నీర్ వేస్తాడు, లేయర్స్. The making is more interesting than the taste. If you go to Creamstone వాడు కళ్ళ ముందు చేస్తున్నాడు కాబట్టి నీకు ఆ ఇంట్రెస్ట్ పడుతుంది. అరే ఏదో బాగుంది, ట్రై చేద్దాం. Dosa was not what I believe is. Dosa became that shit what it is because it is good to watch. Doesn't matter how it tastes, but it is way fucking good to watch. So keeping so many things on dosa.
మొత్తం ఒక 10 దోసలు ఒకసారి వేసేసి
it is so good to watch. 20 దోసలు రామ్కి మండి 20 దోసలు ఒకటేసారి వేస్తాడు. అరే it is a visual to watch. I still remember మన రాత్రి 3 నాంపల్లికి వెళ్ళి తినేటోళ్ళం. And like అప్పట్లో ఇట్స్ లైక్ fuck, this is good, I need to try this. Just to choose it తినాలనిపిస్తుంది అంతే అది.
Yeah, man, back in before COVID days, nightlife Hyderabad lo Hari Dosa ani దగ్గర ఉండేది.
Yes,
it was a very small bandi that there were people coming from far away places around Hyderabad.
Yes.
There was obviously Ramki Bandi again. కానీ ఈ పాపులర్ చిన్న చిన్న ఏవైతే లోకలైజ్ గా ఉన్నాయో అవి ఇంకా చాలా పాపులర్. కానీ I don't know, కోవిడ్ తర్వాత it died slowగా.
It was
the government కూడా చాలా restrictions పెట్టింది night life.
And the other part was the internal విషయం ఏమైంది అంటే lot of chefs went. If you see in Hyderabad there are so many restaurants, and when you talk in terms of workforce, we are talking about 100% workforce. 60 to 70% are not localized. People come from Bihar, people come from Orissa, వీళ్ళే నార్త్ ఈస్ట్ వాళ్ళు ఉంటారు, వీళ్ళే ఎక్కువ ఉంటారు. And COVID, they all went back. So chef, everyone went back. There was a huge skilled worker shortage in Hyderabad. It happened after COVID. Tarvata 1 year వరకు lot of restaurants faced it was very hard to run a restaurant after 1 year because chef లేరు, పని చేసే వాళ్ళు లేరు. ఇప్పుడు మళ్ళీ నార్మల్గా వచ్చేసింది. అండ్ దట్ వాస్ వన్ మేజర్ రీజన్. ద టేస్ట్ didn't taste the same and the quality అంతా తగ్గిపోయింది. ఇప్పుడు మళ్ళీ అంతా పికప్ అవుతుంది. Back.
I think definitely. What do you think? Okay, ఇప్పుడున్న నైట్ లైఫ్ గురించి మాట్లాడదాం. If you had to go, it's 2 a.m. in the night. You had to eat. You're hungry. Basically, కడుపు నింపాలి. You want to have some good food. You want to have some good liquid into your stomach.
Okay.
Where would a person go? Like I know we have DLF, but very చాలా ఓవర్ హైప్ చేసేసి ఆ రీల్స్ లో పెట్టేసి గొడవ చేసేసి. Anything that's underrated, that's still authentic, that's good.
From your experience, రాత్రిపూట దొరికేది DLF hands down is the only place. నీకు చాలా వెరైటీస్ ఒకటే దొరుకుతుంది, పోలీస్ స్టేషన్ కొంచెం తక్కువ ఉంటుంది. ఇట్స్ వెరీ అన్ప్రెడిక్టబుల్. కొన్ని రోజు ఒక మంత్ వరకు వచ్చి కాల్స్ 1 AM క్లోజ్ చేయమంటారు, 2 AM క్లోజ్ చేయమంటారు, కొన్ని ఓవర్ ది పీరియడ్ ఆఫ్ టైం ఉంటుంది. బట్ there is no other place where you get that much variety. But కొన్ని cafes open ఉన్నాయి, there are a couple of 24 hours cafes, and there are a couple of places where you get night biryanis దొరుకుతాయి, లేకపోతే కొన్ని dosa places ఉన్నాయి. But if you want to have a variety and have an experience, ఇప్పుడు మాదాపూర్లో ఉంది, ఇక్కడ ఉంది, మన ఐడియల్ లేక్ దగ్గర ఉంది, బట్ క్లోజ్ ఉంది. అండ్ DLF is the only place, I mean, అక్కడ ఉన్న లోకల్ వాళ్ళు మేనేజ్ చేయడం వల్ల it has become a culture in itself. DLF has become a whole culture in itself. ముందు ఒక లైన్ ఉంటుండే, ఇప్పుడు it is growing. లోపల్ లైన్స్ పెరుగుతూ ఉంది. అండ్ people are there. Their food will come. అక్కడ ఫుడ్ దొరుకుతుంది, అందరికి తెలిసి అందరూ అక్కడ వస్తున్నారు. సో ఇంకా పెరుగుతా ఉంది. అండ్ హ్యాండ్స్ డౌన్ దట్ ఈస్ ద ఓన్లీ ప్లేస్ విల్ గెట్ ఇట్. అప్పట్లో మేము చిన్నగా ఉన్నప్పుడు ఎలా ఉంటుండే అంటే, దిస్ ఇస్ అన్ ఇంట్రెస్టింగ్ స్టోరీ. మలక్పేటలో ఉంటుండే. సో రాత్రిపూట బయటికి వెళ్ళి ఏమైనా తినాలి అంటే వెరీ ఫ్యూ ప్లేసెస్. అండ్ బట్ కొన్ని బిర్యానీ ప్లేస్, సోహేల్ అని ఒకటి ఉంటుంది. సోహేల్ ఉంటుండే. దాని తర్వాత బిచ్ దగ్గర సర్కిల్ దగ్గర ఒకటి ఉంటుంది. బ్యాక్ సైడ్ నుంచి వెళ్ళి వాడు ఇస్తాడు, ఫ్రెండ్ అంతా క్లోజ్ ఉంటుంది, బ్యాక్ సైడ్ నుంచి వస్తాడు. బ్యాక్ సైడ్ నుంచి
బ్లాక్ లో బియర్లు అమ్ముతున్నట్టు
బిర్యానీలు అమ్ముతారు. ఇప్పుడు there is no, I truly feel there is no other place that gives a DLF experience. అందుకే, but I hands down still say DLF food is shit. DLF food is not up to the mark. You get way better. Give me any example of any product, you will get the better product elsewhere.
Even the Maggi point, the AM/PM Maggi,
you get a better
food back in the day. I remember eating it back in the day. కానీ ఇప్పుడు I don't know why it's into commercial అయిపోతే ఫుడ్ తగ్గించాలా అన్నట్టు ఇలా అయిపోయింది చాలా పరిస్థితి.
అక్కడ ఏమైపోయింది అంటే, నువ్వు ఎట్లున్నా తింటాడు. అక్కడ నీకు
అంతవరకు వస్తున్నాడు.
It's a necessity for him at that point. At that point you cannot get anywhere. And he knows he's the only player in the market. ఏది పెట్టినా తింటాడు. వాడికి అవసరం ఏంటి? ఎలా అంటే, ఇప్పుడు గవర్నమెంట్ ఆఫీసర్స్ చెత్తగా పనిచేస్తారు. ఎందుకు పనిచేస్తారు? బికాస్ దేర్ ఇస్ నో అదర్ ఆప్షన్. ఈజ్ ద మొనోపోలీ దేర్. యు ఆర్ గోయింగ్ దేర్ ఫర్ నెసెసిటీ. నీ చాయిస్ లేదు, అక్కడికి వెళ్ళలేదు. సో DLF లో కూడా హ్యాండ్స్ డౌన్ ఎనీ given like కొన్ని really good place. I love Varalakshmi a lot there. Bondalu, dosa, it's very good.
But idlis are too damn fucking soft.
I love it.
I'm a very big idli guy. ఎంత ఆయిల్ ఇవ్వు, ఎంత దోశ ఇవ్వు, ఎంత పూరి ఇవ్వు, నాకు ఇడ్లీతో ప్రశాంతంగా కడుపుకుంటాను. నాకు నా చట్నీ నాకు చాలు.
అంతే.
So I'm a very big idli guy. So there are some good places in like
DLF లో కూడా కొన్ని గుడ్ ప్లేసెస్, దెర్ ఆర్ ఫ్యూ గుడ్ ప్లేసెస్, బట్ చాలా మంది పెట్టేస్తా ఉంటాం కానీ ఓన్లీ థింగ్ మనుషులు ఉన్నారు కాబట్టి అది నడుస్తున్నాయి.
there's a smoky doki shop.
Smoky doki కొత్తది వచ్చింది and it's really making that's one other thing, right? I talk about businesses and the USP. What is the USP of Smoky doki? Not boggu మీద కాలుస్తున్నాడు. No one did. No, that's a genius. No, I like this stuff. He is a genius fucking guy who is like, everyone is selling, there are good shawarma places, what can I do better? Let's do this. దాని కోసం వెళ్తారు. స్మోకీ టేస్ట్ వస్తుంది and it's going
but personally, like for me, shawarma was always very bad for my stomach.
Okay.
Every time I had shawarma, from this was from my inter days.
Okay.
Like, very chicken takwa. So if I had shawarma, next day pakka kadpatis.
Okay.
So I've just ignored shawarma for a long time. But suddenly a friend of mine suggested, like, let's eat some street food. He's from Guntur, so obviously there's nothing good in street food in Guntur.
తెలుగులో మా బాధ
Okay. So it's like, okay, let's eat some street food. Okay. I asked a few people and they said, okay, shawarma, smoky doki. I went there, I had shawarma, and for the first time I had a fulfilling feeling వచ్చింది. Next day prashantanga undi, and I really love shawarma since that day.
That time.
Yeah. So yeah, talking about this health concept. All your food bloggers, all your food influencers around the world, you eat a lot from different cuisines and all. How do you manage your stomach? Like,
it's fucked up. It is fucked up. I always carry Eno in my bag.
Oh.
And in the beginning, starting lo food వస్తే ఏ ఫుడ్ అయినా కంపల్సరీ తినాలి, కడుపు నిండా తినాలి. At this point of time, it's overloaded. You get called every single day. You have to try. Shoot unante, you have to taste everything. Your stomach is actually fucked. నేను కంపల్సరీ ఈనో పెట్టుకుంటాను, వాటర్ ఎక్కువ తాగుతాను. ఇఫ్ ఐమ్ ఈటింగ్ వన్స్ అవుట్, ఐ డోంట్ ఈట్ ఇన్ ద మార్నింగ్ ఆర్ నైట్. అంటే ఏదో ఒక పూట అనేది తింటాను. దట్స్ హౌ ఐ బ్యాలెన్స్ ఇట్ అవుట్. బట్ ఇన్ జనరల్ ఇట్ ఈస్ నాట్ వెరీ సస్టైనబుల్.
In the long run
it is not at all sustainable. అందుకే చాలా మంది అందరూ వీడియోలు చూపిస్తారు, దిస్ ఇస్ గుడ్, వాడు తినేది ఒక బుక్ అంతే. బికాస్ యూ కెన్ నాట్ ఈట్ ఇట్.
ఫుడ్ బ్లాగర్స్ ఎక్స్పోజ్డ్.
వాడు తినేది ఒక బుక్. ఇప్పుడు రెస్టారెంట్కి వెళ్తాం, ఒక ఫుల్ ఫ్లెజ్ వీడియో చేస్తున్నాం, ఒక 10 ఐటమ్స్ ఉంటాయి. 10 ఐటమ్స్ ఎవరు తింటాడు? నీ అమ్మ నువ్వు మొత్తం ఖాందాన్ వచ్చి కూర్చున్నా 10 ఐటమ్లు తినలేవు. ఒక్కొక్క టేస్ట్ చూసా, టేస్ట్ గురించి ఎక్స్ప్లెయిన్ చేస్తాము, అంత ప్యాకేజ్ చేసుకుని ఇంటికి పోవడమే అంతే. యూ కెన్ నాట్ ఈట్ ఇట్. ఇప్పుడు వీడియోస్ షార్ట్స్లో కూడా తింటాం కానీ జస్ట్ వన్ పీస్ అండ్ వన్ బైట్ ఆర్ వన్ టేస్ట్, జస్ట్ ఫర్ టేస్ట్. నో వన్ ఈట్స్ నౌ because it is very hard to sustain it. You cannot keep eating out the masala and the oily food, the fat, everything. It's very hard. You can't.
Definitely. So again, circling back again to the same question, I would say, see, you say food is great. Sometimes you say food is bad.
Yes.
But the audience that you are serving your content to are varied. Yes. Okay, there might be a higher percentage who are into spicy food. There's some, okay, light food in our world. So, on what do you change your approach based on your audience, or is it based on the food that you eat? Like, are you very genuine, or how does that review work? The review process.
The whole review process. Now, yes. So these are 3 to 4 questions combined together. Let's talk about spicy food. Like, hands down, spicy unna lekapayina, tiyagunna lekapayina, flavor is what it matters. Flavor has to matter. ఒక ఫుడ్ స్పైసీగా ఉంది అంటే బెటర్ ఫుడ్ కాదు. ఇఫ్ you have to think food in terms of chemistry. See, food is not only about uppu tipi, it's about chemistry as well. The acid, the basics, everything matters, how they are reacting with each other. If you want to actually elevate the flavors, you will never make it spicy.
Okay.
When you are making a food spicy, that means you are overlapping with other food flavors. And cheap food, street fight food, a lot of people ఏం చేస్తారంటే ఎక్కువ మసాలా వేసేస్తారు. అప్పుడు ఏమనిపిస్తుంది, ఓకే నీ టేస్ట్కి బాగుంది, అదే స్పైసీగా ఉంది, బాగుంది అని వింటారు. బట్ ఏ రియల్ పర్సన్, ఫుడ్ క్రిటిక్ ఆర్ పర్సన్ హూ నోస్ ఫుడ్ అండర్స్టాండ్స్ దట్ హీస్ జస్ట్ dampening up, masking up all the other flavors. వాడు ఒక కారంతో మిగతా ఫ్లేవర్స్ అన్ని మాస్ చేస్తున్నాడు. నీకు 100 రూపాయలు నీకు నిజంగా అది రాలేవు ఆ ఫ్లేవర్స్. ఎందుకు అంటే దట్ ఇంగ్రీడియంట్స్ ఇట్ సెల్ఫ్ కాస్ట్ యూ సో మచ్. జస్ట్ బికాస్ యూ హ్యావ్ టు మాస్టర్ ఆల్ దోస్ ఫ్లేవర్స్, యూ ఆర్ జస్ట్ ఫోకసింగ్ ఆన్ వన్ ఫ్లేవర్, దట్ ఈస్ స్పైసీనెస్. అలా నీకు వేరే ఫ్లేవర్స్ డమ్ అయిపోతుంది. సో నువ్వు ఏ రోజైనా నాకు చెప్పు ఏ ఫుడ్ బాగుంది, హౌ డు యూ రివ్యూ ఎ ఫుడ్, ఇట్స్ అబౌట్ ఫ్లేవర్స్. That is the first point. Second question you asked about is what do you prefer? Do you approach different ga untada ani? Now my approach to food is all about how well the chef or the person who is making it understood the food. A flavor profiles వస్తున్నాయా లేదా?
So it comes from the origin.
Yes, the origin correct వస్తుంది. Yes, you will always change it, tweak it with respect to the audience who are eating here. నువ్వు హైటెక్ సిటీలో ఫుల్ స్పైసీ పెడితే ఎవరు తినడు, ఎందుకంటే ఇక్కడ నార్త్ ఇండియా క్రౌడ్ ఇదంతా ఎక్కువ. ఇట్ ఇస్ మిక్స్ క్రౌడ్ హియర్. నువ్వు అదే వెళ్ళి కేబిహెచ్పిలో అదే బ్లాండ్ ఫుడ్ అమ్మినా ఎవరు ఉన్నాడు అక్కడ, ఎందుకంటే కేబిహెచ్పి నీకు మొత్తం అటు సైడ్ వాళ్ళు ఎక్కువ ఉంటారు. యూ హ్యావ్ టు కీప్ ట్వీకింగ్ విత్ రెస్పెక్ట్ టు ద లొకేషన్ యాజ్ వెల్. సో ఐ కాంట్ గివ్ యూ సేమ్ రివ్యూ హియర్ అండ్ దేర్. అక్కడ టేస్ట్ తగ్గట్టు వాడు అక్కడ చేసుకుంటాడు. హీఈస్ గుడ్ ఇన్ హిస్ పాయింట్ ఆఫ్ వ్యూ. ఇక్కడ టేస్ట్ అంటే ఇక్కడ ఉండదు, కానీ ఆ ఫ్లేవర్ ప్రొఫైల్స్ వస్తున్నాయా లేవా, ఆ నీట్నెస్ ఉందా లేదా, వాడు ఇష్టమని చేయదంటే ఏది పడితే అది వేసేసాడా, ఉడికిందా ఉడకలేదా, దట్ ఈస్ వన్ మీదే, ఉప్పు ఉందా లేదా.
I think it's rightly said, location batti you need to change your,
you have to change,
because Kritunga restaurant it is ఇక్కడ హైటెక్ సిటీలో కూడా చాలా బ్రాంచెస్ ఉన్నాయి, అవైలబుల్ over there, and well too spicy for me.
Okay,
every food that they serve me, it's too spicy for me. So you know, then I think our time it comes down to the restaurant. Like,
yes,
if you have Kritunga, if you want spicy food, go there.
Yes,
if you have spicy food.
That comes into brands. Few brands stand for their food. You cannot change from location to location. ఎందుకంటే ఒక వాడు వచ్చాడు ఆ లొకేషన్ తో రాడు, నీ బ్రాండ్ పేరు కోసం వస్తాడు. నువ్వు శ్రీకన్య పోయి నాకు స్పైసీ కావద్దు అంటే ఎందుకు ఇస్తాడు వాడు? యూఆర్ ఎక్స్పెక్టింగ్ టు ఈట్ స్పైసీ ఫుడ్, దట్స్ ద రీజన్ యూఆర్ గోయింగ్ టు శ్రీకన్య. లేకపోతే వెళ్ళకు, వేరే దానికి వెళ్ళు.
We have Santosh Dhaba. Santosh Dhaba. Yeah, talking about Santosh Dhaba, what is the original Santosh Dhaba, man?
Santosh Dhaba, the first place is actually in Abbots.
Okay.
Now, ఇలాంటి సేమ్ Santosh Dhaba, same story with Santosh Dhaba, same story with Bawarchi as well. One brand name, he has created a brand, everyone is just banking on that brand name.
Yeah.
ఎవడు పడితే వాడు వాడుకున్నాడు.
So the original one is also in RTC Crossroads.
RTC Crossroads. And the third, this is another interesting thing. ఇదంతా పాత టైంలో అయిపోయింది. అప్పట్లో ఐపీ లేవు, దాని తర్వాత ఏమంటారు నేమ్ని ఏమంటారు మనం ఇది చేస్తాం కదా, copywriting. There is another word where you say this word is infringement. The copywriting is basically different. Patent is for products and all these things.
Yeah, okay, I get this.
So basically this name is mine, you can't use this name, all these legal things. ఇదంతా ఓకే. బావర్చి అయిపోయింది, సంతోష్ డాబా యూ హ్యావ్ ఆల్రెడీ సీన్, ఎవ్రీవన్ హెస్ కాపీడ్, ఎవ్రీవన్ యూజింగ్ ఇట్, వాడు ఇష్టపడి వాడుతున్నాడు. నెక్స్ట్ థింగ్ నాకు ఏంటంటే రీసెంట్గా టీటైమ్ హెస్ గాన్, ఇట్ హెస్ బికమ్ ఫేమస్. అంటే హీ సాల్వ్ వన్ ఇంపార్టెంట్ ప్రాబ్లమ్, హ్యావింగ్ అ కన్సిస్టెంటీ ఎవ్రీవేర్. వాడు ఊర్ల నుంచి కొట్టుకుంటూ సిటీకి వచ్చాడు. నౌ ఇఫ్ యూ సీ ఎవడు పడితే వాడు ఎప్పుడు పడితే అంటే నేను ఎన్నిసార్లు టీ టైమ్ అనుకుని టీ టైంకి వెళ్ళేసి ఇట్స్ నాట్ ద టేస్ట్. దెన్ ఇస్ లైక్ ఫక్, ఎవ్రీవన్ ఇస్ కాపింగ్ టీ టైమ్, ద పేర్ ఎందుకంటే దే ఆర్ బ్యాంకింగ్ ఆన్ దట్ నేమ్. దాని వల్ల వై ద ఫక్ హీ డిడ్ంట్ డూ ఎనీథింగ్ అబౌట్ ఇట్ అనిపిస్తుంది నాకు ఒకసారి. అంటే హీ హెస్ done way good, and but at this point like it is gone out of hands.
Legally kuda I don't think there's much to do in this restaurant industry or food industry where if you can copy it, unless you're a very big brand.
Yeah,
like you know, for a chai seller, like what are you gonna do? You're gonna go to a court, you're gonna file a case on him, you're gonna bring police to him. I don't think
I don't know, I don't have much knowledge about legal things, but
But I don't think I think it's very less, or even if there is, we are very, as Indians, complacent to, you know, okay let's just slide this coil, I think we're more into that.
True. Any international brand would never leave out these things. Exactly.
Maybe బాండ్ చూసుకొని మన దగ్గర వస్తారు, బాయ్ అనుకుంటే. But I think అట్లా ఉండలేము.
లైక్ నేమ్ ఒకడు కష్టపడ్డాడు, ఒకడు నిలబెట్టాడు ఒక బ్రాండ్ నేమ్ ప్రతి ఒక్కటి ఏదో బాగుంది కదా లేపేద్దాం. నో ఈ ఇది కాపీ కొట్టేద్దాం అనేది నాట్ ఓన్లీ ఇన్ టర్మ్స్ ఆఫ్ brand names. Now you can see people are copying business models as well. Business models, the business, something is working. South Indian restaurants with alcohol is working. Now, I will not name things, but you can see 3 or 4 other restaurants which have the same concept. Similar food with alcohol, good ambience, good. Few dosa places are working. There are more same concept. New dosa places.
Let's not name them, but
you are understanding where I'm saying. This is, see, you can't say, oh, this is my business model, because you can't copyright business model. But you understand, because now everyone understands analytics, everyone understands what's working, what's not working. Let's pick out, okay, this is working from this place, this is working from this place. Let's copy that and keep it in our business. In that way, people are becoming very intelligent now.
Yeah, and even digital space is helping them a lot with the way you need to show your products. And one of them would be our channel sponsor, MNV, who has a very good vertical with them where they create a very extraordinary piece of video, 20 seconds, 30 seconds short form of content of one cuisine or one food item in a restaurant.
Yes.
And I think it's their biggest USP as a digital company. And I think they did really good with that. So shout out to MNB for that.
Suraj and I are very good friends as well. I vibe with Suraj a lot because there are very few people I can talk to, and other people can understand it and counter argument it. It's not about the opposite person should not always agree with you. He has to oppose you as well. Definitely. Then only the conversation is always productive. I really like conversing with Suraj that way.
So I think they've done great things with him. And he was the last guest for the podcast.
Okay.
It's not released yet. I don't know, maybe by the time this episode drops, that should be out.
Okay.
But we had a really good conversation about MNV and all. So let's sway a little bit towards let's go away from food and let's talk about your company, your business, other than the food. Would you constitute your company as a hobby, or would you constitute your food influencing as a hobby? Where do you put both?
Okay. To be honest, I can make the same amount of money in both things.
Okay.
Let's talk about money as well. But but me I didn't do engineering just because engineering cheyalra bhai edo okat cheseyalani kaadu. From my childhood, I knew I want to do mechanical engineering. I like to design machines. I like to make machines. That's what I did. That's what I learned. That's what I do. So I'm basically a mechanical engineer. TKL, I did my BTech. Okay. Then I went to US. I did my masters there, and then I came back. I worked there for 5 years. I worked in very, very, very amazing projects. NFL projects, automobile, heavy machinery, like automation, very classy projects. And when I came back to India, then I started my own company. We do mechanical services and we do training as well. So we have 2 verticals. So that's my major job. My morning from 6 a.m. So that's what I do. And we're trying to keep more expanded to other countries, Canada as well. Okay. So that's what I do from 9 to morning. Actually, I work from 6 to 6. Then this is my hobby.
Evening is the food.
Is it? No, I can't actually differentiate because I get happiness from both. నాకు పని అంటే యాక్చువల్లీ ఇష్టం. నాకు I get happiness from both my this work and this work, and I can make money from both places, but I keep this as professional and this as casual. This is more casual for me.
So I know I swayed a little bit, Kani. I had a few other questions about food influencing industry. You can choose to ignore it, but what is your revenue model? Like if a restaurant approaches you,
okay,
or you can choose not to reveal the numbers as well, but how would an influencer could charge based on if they're putting a reel or if they're giving a review, what would be the pricing for that? How would it generally work?
Okay, now your review doesn't matter. నువ్వేం తోపు కాదు, నీ రివ్యూ అది పక్కన పెట్టేద్దాం. లెట్స్ టాక్ అబౌట్ షుడ్ ఇన్ఫ్లుయెన్సర్ గెట్ పెయిడ్ ఆర్ నాట్. If you are a business entity, if you are a restaurant, you want to shoot a video, you want to edit a video, post the video, boost the video. Let's break it down. First, నువ్వు ఆ వీడియో తీయాలి, ఒక వీడియోగ్రాఫర్ని పిలవాలి, దెన్ ఎడిటర్ని చేసి ఎడిట్ చేయాలి, సోషల్ మీడియా తెలిసిన వాడు కానీ పోస్ట్ చేయాలి, దెన్ యూ హ్యావ్ టు యాడ్ రన్ చేయాలి. నా ఒక క్యాంపెయిన్ క్రియేట్ చేయాలి. నా దిస్ ఇస్ ఆల్ అన్ ఎకో సిస్టమ్. నా దిస్ ఇస్ అ బిగ్ ఫకింగ్ మొత్తం మార్కెటింగ్ డిపార్ట్మెంట్ ఇదంతా. నా ఒక్క వీడియో చేయాలి అంటే ఎనీ పర్సన్ వుడ్ టేక్, వీడియోగ్రాఫర్ వన్ డే వీడియోగ్రాఫర్ పోయినా 6,000 to 10,000, ఎడిటర్ కూడా అంతే తీసుకుంటాడు, మార్కెట్ చేసేవాడు అంతే తీసుకుంటాడు. ఇదంతా చేశాక మళ్ళీ నువ్వు అడ్వర్టైజ్మెంట్ నడపాలి. ఎనీ గివెన్ బిజినెస్ ఓనర్ ఆర్ రెస్టారెంట్ హ్యాస్ టు 20,000 అనేది ఖర్చు పెడుతుంటారు ఒక వీడియో కోసం. సింపుల్ ఎనఫ్. నౌ ఎ పర్సన్, an influencer doing everything. He is doing everything. He's shooting the video, he's editing the video, he's understanding the concept, he's doing the concept and he's promoting. And because he's seeing it is reaching the multiple audience without you boosting it.
Yes.
You're also reaching it. So you tell me, you should pay the influencer or not?
I think you should definitely.
Because it's a lot of work. It's a skilled work. It takes a lot of time.
It does. I agree.
So I would say you have to pay the influencer. Irrespective of what, he is doing a lot of work, and you have to respect what he is doing, and you have to pay him. Now, how much you should pay him? No, that is again debatable, and you can always see.
Based on your profile, number of people.
So, what I usually say is, if Instagram, you can see boost my video on top. వాడు అక్కడే బడ్జెట్ ఇచ్చేస్తాడు. నాకు 10,000 పెడుతున్నాను, these are number of people you reach. Let's say ఫర్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్ 10,000 పీపుల్ 1:1 రేషియో, రూపాయికి రీచ్ అవుతుంది. ఓకే, ఇన్ఫ్లుయెన్సర్కి ఎంత పే చేయాలి? వాట్ ఈస్ హిస్ లాస్ట్ యావరేజ్ కౌంట్ వ్యూ? వాట్ ఈస్ యావరేజ్ రీచ్?
Watch
time reach 10,000 is his reach for his videos. You have to pay him 10,000. I am giving a very arbitrary number. If you are doing it, 10,000 is your minimum place. ఎందుకంటే 10,000కి వాడు షూట్ చేస్తున్నాడు, పెడుతున్నాడు, 10,000 రీచ్ అవుతుంది. But you should also understand, as a brand, when you're creating content and posting it with the help of marketing agencies, and a trust factor ఇవ్వలేవు నువ్వు. ఆ ట్రస్ట్ ఫ్యాక్టర్ నీ బ్రాండ్కి రాదు. ఆ ట్రస్ట్ ఫ్యాక్టర్ ఇన్ఫ్లుయెన్సర్ తోటి వస్తుంది, ఎందుకంటే వాడు ఆ ఇన్ఫ్లుయెన్సర్ నమ్ముతాడు కాబట్టి వస్తుంది. సో నాట్ ఓన్లీ 10,000. Now 10,000 is a base amount. No, you can always give more depending on influencer to influencer.
So our trust should add a lot more amount. Definitely.
Yes.
So it varies at all.
It varies depending on person to person. What kind of content it is, how well you want the content and everything.
Yeah. And coming to the hate on the food bloggers. Start చేస్తారు వచ్చిన హలో ఫ్రెండ్స్ ఇక్కడ స్టార్ట్ చేసాము. There's a lot. There's chala meme pages, they troll you guys.
Yes.
They make memes out of you. It's very
huge.
bad out there.
One of my co-anchor, Rohit అని ఉంటాడు వైరల్ ఫుడ్ లో, and he did this పకోడీ వీడియో, and ఎంత ట్రోల్, ఎంత ఫేమస్ అయ్యాడంటే 2 సంవత్సరాల నుంచి వాడు అంత ఫేమస్ కాదు. ఒక్క వీడియో తోటి he became blue in all Telugu states. That is it. At least it's a good way of trolling, and you are meaningful. You are thinking of he made a mistake. You are trolling him. Now there is outright hate. Now trolling, I am always okay with it. I see, I am a public person. People comment on me. I accept it. I don't mind anything. If you have actually critic, if you tell me something, I will listen to it. If you are trolling, I laugh at it. That's what I am. Now there is outright hate. ఇన్స్టాగ్రామ్లో టు బి ఆనెస్ట్ వెరీ గుడ్, చాలా డీసెంట్ ఆడియన్స్ ఉంటారు. ఏమన్నా ఎందుకు చేస్తున్నారా, ఏంటి ఆ గుండు ఫోటో అని ఇట్లా అంటారు. ఇట్స్ వెరీ బేస్. నా కమ్స్ టు ఫ్రెండ్లీ బ్యాంటర్ మా అంటే మన క్లోజ్ ఫ్రెండ్ ఉంటే ఎలా తిడతారో అలా తిడతారు. నాట్ టాకింగ్ అబౌట్ ట్రోలింగ్, ఐమ్ టాకింగ్ అబౌట్ హేట్, షిట్ టాక్. నా దాంట్లో యూట్యూబ్లో కూడా యూట్యూబ్ కొంచెం ఇన్స్టాగ్రామ్ కంటే ఇంకొంచెం దిగుతుంది అనమాట. ఇదిరా నువ్వు ఎందుకు వచ్చినారా అని నీ ఇష్టం లేకపోతే ఓవర్ దూరమన్నాడు. చూడు ఎందుకు చూస్తున్నావు, నువ్వు చూసి నీ టైం వేస్ట్ చేసి అంత టైం ఉంది అలా నీ దగ్గర. ఎంత వర్స్ట్ ఇస్ ఫేస్బుక్. ఫేస్బుక్ ఆడియన్స్ ఉంటారంటే like you have to read down the comments, and if you are not a thick skinned person, you will go into depression. You will definitely go into depression. You will hate yourself. You will not come out of the closet. And in the beginning, see, I am like 30 years right now. I have gone through the age of shaming and my
self-appreciating.
Yeah, and I have seen my fair share of commenting on me, and now I have become thick-skinned. It doesn't affect me a lot. I have accepted the way I am. Now, if you are new into being a public person, these things will affect you a lot. Like in terms of comments, any personality, how the way you talk, the way you dress, the way you look, the skin of your color. And from commenting about the characteristics of you to outright అసలు సంబంధమే ఉండదు. అంటే వాడు తిట్టాలని వచ్చాడు, తిట్టేది అంతే, ఏం ఉండదు అక్కడ.
Social media anonymity has given a shield to everybody as a
And YouTube లో there is this thing called potentially harmful comment. You can switch it off. And Facebook లో ఉందో లేదో తెలీదు. ఫేస్బుక్ ఈస్ ద వర్స్ట్. అండ్ అంత తెలుగులో ఉంటుంది. ఇప్పుడు తెలుగులో కంటెంట్ అయితే తెలుగులో తిడతారు. ఐ డోంట్ నో, ఐ డోంట్ థింక్ దే కెన్ దీస్ సాఫ్ట్వేర్స్ కెన్ అండర్స్టాండ్ తెలుగు హేట్ కామెంట్స్. సో యా, దట్స్ వెరీ గుడ్. ఇన్స్టాగ్రామ్ ఓకే, డీసెంట్ ఆడియన్స్. యూట్యూబ్ కొంచెం మారుతుంది. ఫేస్బుక్ అంటే ఇక చచ్చిపోవాలని అనిపిస్తుంది కొన్నిసార్లు.
I'm just wondering, ఇంకా ఫేస్బుక్ బతికే ఉందా, జనాలు ఇంకా అక్కడ ఉన్నారా అనుకుంటున్నారు.
ఫేస్బుక్లో it's not the Gen X slave, but the millennial crowd and the mundu crowd inka akade undi. Still a lot of things happen on Facebook, a lot of sharing. Inka Facebook ala batukundi inka.
I've heard that mana India lo kanna Facebook is more popular in the US markets, Western markets, because of the Facebook groups, Facebook marketplace to be marketplace. Yes. Yeah, like manaki ikkada we don't really care about the second hand products. Facebook marketplace is really popular in US, I believe.
Yes, Facebook marketplaces, yeah, you can sell a product. It's like mana identidi
eBay, OLX
yeah, OLX laga Facebook marketplace chaala vaadtaru akkada.
But yeah, I think India lo I don't see a use
India lo groups ekva. నా ఎందుకంటే ఇర్రిలవెంట్ కంటెంట్ చాలా అయిపోయింది ఫేస్బుక్లో. నీకు సంబంధమే లేదు, ఎవడో ఇష్టమైన కంటెంట్ వస్తూ ఉంటుంది. కానీ ఏంటంటే గ్రూప్స్లలో ఉన్న వాళ్ళు దే స్టిల్ బెనిఫిట్ అలాట్. ఇప్పుడు చాలా మంది దేనికి వాడతారు, ఇప్పుడు యూఎస్కి వెళ్తున్నాం, కాలేజ్ అయిపోయి యూఎస్కి వెళ్తున్నాం, ఆ కాలేజ్ జాయిన్ అవుతావు, రూమ్మేట్స్ వెతుకుతావు, కాలేజ్ ఎలా ఉంది వెతుకుతావు. ఆప్షన్ ఫేస్బుక్ గేవ్ దట్ ప్లాట్ఫామ్ అండ్ స్టిల్ లాట్ ఆఫ్ పీపుల్ యూస్ ఇట్. And marketers still use it a lot in terms of a specific target marketing kosamu. Facebook market still works. They're integrating everything, so that in that way Facebook still is a good thing. And in terms of groups, Instagram la groups inka undo, it's an individual thing. అండ్ ఫేస్బుక్ చెత్తగా ఎందుకు అయిందంటే ఇష్టం ఉన్న కంటెంట్ వచ్చేస్తుంది కాబట్టి. ఇప్పుడు ఇన్స్టాగ్రామ్ కూడా అదే వస్తుంది, అంత ఇష్టం. అరే నాకు ఇది ఎందుకు వచ్చింది నాకు అర్థం కాదు. సజెస్టెడ్ కంటెంట్ అంటాడు, ఇష్టం ఉన్న కంటెంట్ ఇస్తాడు, కొంచెం బోర్ పడుతుంది. ఇన్స్టాగ్రామ్
లో సెల్ఫ్ సాబిటాజ్ యువర్ స్టార్ట్అప్ అని మనం ఒకసారి మార్క్ జకర్బర్గ్ ఒక బుక్ రాయాలి. Still a great entrepreneur.
Yes. I mean, irrelevant content valla, see, two things I hate about social media nowadays especially is irrelevant content. ఎందుకు వస్తుందో తెలియదు, అర్థం కాదు. స్పాన్సర్ కంటెంట్ అంటాడు, వాడంతా వాడే సజెస్టెడ్ కంటెంట్ అంటాడు, ఇస్తా ఉంటాడు. అది అవసరం లేదు నాకు. ఇట్స్ నాట్, ఐ డోంట్ లైక్ ఇట్, ఐ డోంట్ వాచ్ ఇట్, బట్ హీ స్టిల్ పోస్టింగ్ ఇట్, పుషింగ్ ఇట్. సెకండ్ థింగ్ ఇస్ ఎవ్రీ పోస్ట్ 5 posts లో 4 posts are marketing posts.
Yes.
Now that's fucking annoying these days, because every influencer, ఇప్పుడు కంటెంట్ వచ్చేది ఇన్ఫ్లుయెన్సర్ నుంచి అన్నా పేజెస్ నుంచి అన్నా, 4 out of 5 videos are marketing videos. అంటే ఫర్ ఎ నార్మల్ ఐ దే విల్ నాట్ ఏబుల్ టు అండర్స్టాండ్ ఇట్స్ a marketing video, it's a sponsored video అని చెప్పలేరు. But for me, I know that it's a marketing, it's a sponsored video, it's a marketing video. తెలిసిపోద్ది. అండ్ నేను ఇట్లా స్క్రోల్ చేస్తే 10 వీడియోస్ నాకు మార్కెటింగ్ వీడియోస్ కనిపిస్తే నీ అమ్మచ్చర్ పక్కన పెట్టేస్తాను.
That's a line, invisible line. When you look at it changes a lot perspective. Like our review, ముందు ఒక రకంగా చూసేటోడి కానీ ఇప్పుడు
చాలా it's become annoying at the point of time, like why the fuck I'm even using it. I know it is a sponsored product, I know it is he's marketing that, he got money and he's just marketing it. I mean, instead now people are actually taking steps in terms of if you are taking if it's a paid content, you have to mention it's a paid content. If it's a sponsored post, you have to mention it's a sponsored post. Actually, if you're barter unte kanisam barter anna pettali. There are a couple of regulated authority as well. If you're ఇప్పుడు కొన్ని ఉన్నాయి పేర్లు గుర్తొస్తలేవు కానీ there are commissions where mostly they go for this anything that is related to children కానీ moms కానీ ఇలా critical ఉన్న వాటికి they go after them, and normal people can also complain that he is promoting something and he's not saying it is promoting అంటే నాకు మనీ వచ్చింది కాబట్టి promote, it's not saying it's paying content. But food law, it is not there. Everyone knows it's a sponsored content, but people just keep posting it.
It's a very unregulated.
In food law, it's very unregulated. Paid తెలియదు, sponsored తెలియదు, barter తెలియదు, అందరు పోస్ట్ చేస్తున్నారు చూస్తున్నాం అంతే. అండ్ ఎట్ ద పాయింట్ ఆఫ్ టైమ్ ఇట్ ఈస్ గెటింగ్ అవుట్ రైట్ చిరాకు వచ్చేస్తుంది. ప్రతిదీ అడ్వర్టైజ్మెంట్, ప్రతిదీ వాడు ఎవ్రీ వన్ ఈస్ ట్రైంగ్ టు పుష్ ఎ ప్రోడక్ట్ ఆర్ సర్వీస్ ఆన్ యువర్ ఫేస్. ఆయన వద్దురా బాబు, నేను ఏదో ప్రశాంతంగా ఏదో చూసుకుందాం అంటే.
So I'm a very big beer guy.
Okay.
I don't drink normal beer like Kingfisher, Carlsberg. I don't really fancy that, but mostly I go with brew beer a lot.
Okay.
Personally, I want to know your thoughts on this. I've been drinking in the past 3 years, and I started with Broadway. Okay. I like the apple cider over there. Good alcohol person.
Okay, apple cider. You just said you love beer and you said apple cider. Like, fuck it. Apple cider is not even a beer. No.
See,
cider
it's simple.
Total different altogether.
See, it's simple. I don't want it to taste khatta. I want it to taste sweet, and I want to get high out of it.
Okay.
And apple cider serves that purpose.
No, you are very good in your point.
Yeah.
Apple cider is sweet. That's one of the reason people like it, and it also has alcohol in it. Yeah. And that is one of the USP of it, and people like it. But the only reason it is still considered as a beer, and a category of beer, enduku pettunnamante, you have to see in terms of government bodies. Government bodies lo there are నీకు జిన్ కో కేటగిరీ ఉంది, బియర్ కో కేటగిరీ ఉంది, విస్కీ కో కేటగిరీ ఉంది. బట్ సైడర్ అనే కేటగిరీ లేదు. అంటే నువ్వు ఆ పెట్టాలన్న సైడర్ అనే కేటగిరీ లేదు. ఇఫ్ యూ టేక్ అబౌట్ కళ్ళు ఉంది, లేకపోతే దేర్ ఆర్ ఫెనీ, గోవాలో ఫెనీ దొరుకుతుంది. దేర్ ఆర్ నో కేటగిరీస్ ఫర్ దిస్. ఇప్పుడు కొత్తగా హార్ట్ సైడర్ వచ్చి హార్ట్ ఏమంటారు దీన్ని, కొత్త సైడర్ కాదు, వాట్ ఇస్ దిస్ హార్ట్
Seltzer.
Yeah. Seltzers came in US at 2015 time లో seltzers అక్కడ స్టార్ట్ అయింది. నా ఇప్పుడు ఇండియా కూడా వచ్చింది. బట్ దెర్ ఈస్ నో కేటగిరీ యాజ్ సచ్ టు కేటగరైజ్ ఇట్.
So you're just considering them as beer.
అంటే బికాస్ గవర్నమెంట్ ఎంటిటీ లేదు దాన్ని కేటగరైజ్ చేయడానికి, అందుకు దాన్ని బీర్ కిందకి వేస్తారు. కానీ దెర్ ఇస్ నో, బట్ యా go cider lovers are good. Cider is good. Apple cider, mango.
So you mean to say beer is supposed to taste thoda khatta? It is supposed to taste.
No, that's actually wrong. Beer doesn't taste khatta. It's not bitter. So I am very much into beer. I learned brewing as well. I did brewing when I was in Chicago. I used to take classes like beer brewing classes. There are multiple types of beers. There is from light to dark to what different varieties there. Major 2 categories, lager and ales. So దాంట్లో మళ్ళీ different multiple categories వస్తూ ఉంటాయి. Every different type of beer, it is brewed in certain way. Wheat totto, like the barley totto, and the bitterness usually comes from the hops.
Sorry?
Hops.
Okay.
Hops are this green color seeds laga untundi. The bitterness is actually comes from the hops. You are calling it bitterness, but people who are beer critics or beer colonizers, what they call it is a flavor component. That hops are basically the flavor component. Traditionally, మనము వాడే ఇండియాలో మనకు మా అంటే కింగ్ఫిషర్, హేవర్స్ 5000 అవే తెలుసు. ఎలా ఏమైంది అంటే ఇండియా క్లైమేట్ ఇస్ హాటర్ క్లైమేట్. In order for a beer to sustain in the hotter climate, you cannot keep a lighter beer or very flavorful beer. పాడైపోద్ది. సో పీపుల్ యాడెడ్ మోర్ హాప్స్ ఇన్ ఇట్. అప్పుడు హాప్స్ యాడ్ చేయడం వల్ల ఏమైంది, ఇట్ హ్యాస్ అ మోర్ బిటర్ ఫ్లేవర్ టు ఇట్. సో ట్రెడిషనల్లీ ఇండియాలో మనకు ఆ చేదు ఎందుకు వచ్చిందంటే బికాస్ ఆఫ్ ద క్లైమేట్ వచ్చింది, నాట్ బికాస్ దట్ ఈస్ నెసెసరీ.
Never knew climate could affect a beer, but
yes. సో అలా మనకు స్టార్టింగ్ నుంచి ఆ బిటర్నెస్ మన బియర్స్ లో వచ్చింది. బట్ రైట్ నౌ ద టెక్నాలజీ అడ్వాన్స్మెంట్, ద స్టోరేజ్, ద కోల్డ్ స్టోరేజ్, నౌ ఇట్ ఈస్ వెరీ హ్యూజ్. నౌ ఇఫ్ యూ గో టు ఎనీ బ్రీవరీ దెర్ ఆర్ 6 to 7 varieties. నో నీకు చేదు వద్దంటే యూ కెన్ గో ఫర్ అదర్ వెరైటీ. హాఫ్ అండ్ వైజన్ వెళ్ళు, విట్ బియర్కి వెళ్ళు, లైట్ లాగర్కి వెళ్ళు, దేనికి అది నీకు చేదు అనిపించదు. ఓన్లీ వెన్ యూర్ కమింగ్ టు ద సైడ్స్ ఆఫ్ ఐపీఏస్, ఇటు సైడ్ వచ్చేసరికి మోర్ చేదు వస్తుంది. సో చేదు మనకి ఇండియన్స్ ఎందుకు అలవాటు అయిందంటే వెదర్ హాట్గా ఉంది, ఇట్ నీడ్స్ టు సస్టైన్. అందుకే స్టార్టింగ్ నుంచి మనకు హాప్స్ ఎక్కువ వేయడం స్టార్ట్ చేస్తాం. బట్ టు బి ఆనెస్ట్ బియర్ ఆర్ నాట్ బిటర్, ఇట్ జస్ట్ వెరీ ఫ్లేవర్ఫుల్.
I was saying, I'm not really a bitter flavored guy, so I always went with ciders.
Yeah.
Then that became a little bit shit in terms of service, and I shifted my my comfort place to some other One Golf.
One Golf is good. Yeah, One Golf, like 040 బాగా నచ్చుతుంది.
040 has a cider, apple cider, man. That's why I never go to 040.
They are not much.
They have some other cider flavor.
Mango cider ఉంది, cider ఉంది అక్కడ, ఇంకా వేరే కూడా ఉంది.
What's your go-to party? Not party, what's a brewery place, a party place?
I don't like to party. I don't like noisy places. I like to have a chill beer with nice music going on. I like to relax. I don't like to party in the sense I don't like heavy music. I'm not an EDM guy.
This is the only common thing between us.
So I like soothing music.
Okay.
Soothing music, give me a beer, chill, I'll watch it, I'll drink it. So 040 is one place I like a lot. Broadway beers are really good. He has mastered his brews. Brews and Brews Low, there's the dark beer is very nice there. కొన్ని ఒక దగ్గర ఒక్కొక్కటి 2-3 బాగా నచ్చుతుంది. Anyway, as such 040 ఇంకా Broadway both are amazing beers.
So the previous episode 5 I believe, I brought in a friend of mine called Sharan, and since that episode we started something new anamata. At the end of the whole episode, the guest from the previous episode writes down a question to the next guest. So he says that he copied it from somebody else, I don't know who, but I would say this is a branded DaPoD content. So his question was, how has life changed for you personally?
Okay.
It doesn't have to be food and anything because he didn't know you. Okay. How has life changed for you personally before and after COVID?
My life has significantly changed. I was never meant to start a company. I was never meant to come to India. I was working in US. I was in the path of becoming a professor.
Oh, professor!
I was I was starting my PhD. Because of COVID, I was somewhere else in the world. I had to come back to India, and I didn't start my PhD. I started a company. So, professionally, it's like 2 different paths. I have taken like totally different paths. I have shifted it. So in that way, it is very different. And the location, I was living in US, then now I'm living in India.
Culture, change of culture.
Everything changed for me.
I think it changed for good. Looking at the way it has progressed, we're on my podcast, so it definitely has changed for good.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's been a while. It's been a good time, man.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you for coming on to the podcast. This is Bhargav, Akali, Panda. This is Raghuram. Would you like to add some closing notes to the podcast? And I would like you to write down a question for the next guest as well. You don't have to say it, you just have to write it down because I'm not going to be releasing it in any episode.
Okay. Closing down, if you want to be an influencer, go ahead, be an influencer. Don't think too much about aim cheyali, ela cheyali. Just start with it. Just the first step is just starting with it. As you keep going, you will find your niche. నీకు ఏది నచ్చుతుంది, ఏది నచ్చదు, ఏది నీకు you can do it. You will find your way. Just start with it. That's one thing I would say to anyone who wants to start in terms of influencer or content.
Question, please.
Question.
Yeah. Something you want to ask the next guest. I don't know who's going to be for the next episode, so
All right.
you can ask a generic question.
All right. So what I can ask is, how did
You don't have to say it.
Okay.
Nobody has. They have to. It has to be spontaneous for them. So just write it. So yeah, follow us. Subscribe to the channel. We have Akali Panda's Instagram and his YouTube channel in the description.
Thank you so much for having me. It was fun. It was a good conversation.
Down the lane, if the channel grows, if I'm still doing the podcast, we'll get on to a next episode. Let's continue this.
Definitely.
So, yeah. All right then. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
All right. One last word from our sponsors before you leave the video. Look, listen. If you're looking to grow your business at a 10x pace, then I think MNV Digital is the right space, right solution for you. I've seen it, I've tested it, and there's no other better solution than that. So do check them out with the link in the description, and I'll see you in the next episode.